What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and it has been a nice, glorious weekend here in Philadelphia. Finished off here Sunday Night Football, Eagles, Cowboys, NFC East rivalry. After the Phillies go to the NLCS, just smoking the Atlanta Braves in 4 games. Citizens Bank Park being electric. Now you get the Lincoln Financial Field electric. You know, Citizens Bank Park with 45,000+. Now you get the Link with 70,000+ people cheering on the Birds going up against the Cowboys. Sunday Night Football, prime time. Nothing any better like that. And you know what? It gets even better. The Eagles beat the Cowboys. They go 6-0 going into the bye week. Finishes off a nice weekend in Philadelphia sports. Like I say, Phillies go to the NLCS. Eagles beat the Cowboys. And hell, the Flyers are 2-0 at the start of the year. So it's been a nice weekend. And the Sixers start up on Tuesday. And that's when the NLCS starts for the Phillies and the San Diego Padres. I'll definitely have the stuff on that tomorrow, most likely for a series preview. But without further ado, let's get into this thing. First half, outright dominance. Jalen Hurts, offense doing their thing. Defense, Cooper Rush can't do anything. Run game can't do anything. It's Gardner-Johnson out there just picking everything off there. Darius also gets into the action with the interceptions. It was basically the perfect first half. Really, the only thing that was kind of annoying was the kickoff return at the end of the second quarter, which allowed, Dallas to get some yardage down there to allow themselves to get to that field goal at the end of the half. Make it a 20-3 game. That was probably, most annoying thing in that first half. The secondary still needs a lot of work. That's probably the weakest part of this Eagles team. Then you go into the third quarter. What happened there? What happened, Gannon? What happened, Steichen? We knew losing Lane Johnson to the concussion was going to hurt. He's on that right side, going up against Micah Parsons. He was doing a fantastic job that entire first half. Then you force Driscoll there after Lane Johnson leaves at the end of that first half. Okay. He looked terrible. He had no help there. He had no chance against Micah Parsons. And you go out to that second half, and you're throwing the ball every time. You're 1 first down of the third quarter. Like, you barely had the ball in the entire third quarter. That third quarter was entirely of the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott doing his thing. And Cooper Rush, he made some nice throws. CeeDee Lamb made some plays. Tackling was terrible. Playing calling was awful. Kind of looked like you were getting too cute again. Kind of looked like you were playing a little loose, a little laid back again. Gannon being up with, a 17-point lead. I don't know why you're playing that, safe. Not being aggressive, not staying aggressive, which was what was helping you get the Cooper Rush and forcing him to make those turnovers. You mixed it up again in the fourth when the game got insanely close, when it needed more than it needed to be. That play calling, even Steichen too, like, why are you forcing so many pass plays in the third? When you don't have Lane Johnson there to free up space for Jalen Hurts, because Micah Parsons, when he has that open lane, he's going to go have a feast day with the quarterback. And he was doing that in that third quarter against Driscoll. Run the ball. Run the ball. Jalen Hurts is not going to have time and space, not without Lane Johnson there. And they didn't run the ball the entire third quarter. They changed it up in the fourth. They used Miles Sanders. That's what happened when they got on that touchdown drive. And for some reason, Devontae Smith is wide out, as open as hell in that end zone to get the go-ahead touchdown. Well, the insurance touchdown at that point. And CJ Gardner-Johnson coming out, he left the game with a hand injury. Looked like it was a lot of pain. Came back to the sideline. Hand was taped up. And he comes back onto the field and gets another interception. Helps your boys out when Dallas is trying to go down the field. Brandon Graham also got into the mix there, getting the Cooper Rush. He was trying to complain that there was a, passer interference on the quarterback. Or roughing the passer. Maybe make-up call because for some reason there was a missed, illegal blocking. Blocking at the back on Dallas on one of their drives. For some reason, it wasn't called on them, and they threw the flag, and then they, for some reason, didn't feel like calling it. They took the flag away. So I don't know what happened there. But it's just CJ comes in, hand taped and everything. Hand probably felt terrible. Still found a way to get an interception. Brandon Graham helped with that a lot. Jeez. And there were some, first half, there was a lot of questionable things what Dallas was doing. I believe they had a 4th and inches, and they tried to throw the ball, and it turned into a turnover on downs. So there were a lot of questionable things that Mike McCarthy was doing in that first half. And in the second half, what the hell is Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon doing with these play calling? Once again, it's getting too cute. You're trying to do way too much. When you have that big of a lead, you got to try to put the team away. And yeah, you had some more chances, when you got those turnovers in that second quarter. You definitely did. I would like to see more touchdowns there to put the game completely out of reach. But you got the points. You scored on the turnovers. You got to play a lot better in the second half, though. You just got to play 10 times better. You can't be lackadaisical. You can't be lazy. Lackadaisical tackles, missed tackles. And it felt like you were getting beat by the same play. Cooper Rush runs out to his right side and he throws to the tight end. That was basically what was beating you the entire time. And then, Ezekiel Elliott doing his thing. Because he owned the Eagles for some reason. Losing Lane Johnson was huge, but then you lost CJ Gardner-Johnson, and that forced Kavon Wallace into the game, and that actually didn't help you either because Kavon Wallace is not good. He just isn't. He's not a good option there. Third option there. Just isn't. And it kind of, helped Dallas out there too. Getting a guy that can't make plays. CJ just comes back in there with the taped hand and he makes plays like nothing. Like nothing. Big play Slay also had an interception too. Defense did get huge on those final drives for Dallas. They also missed a long-ass field goal to make it within a couple of, one-score game. So that helped you too. Jalen Hurts on that final drive, a couple of 3rd and 4 plays. Him, Kenneth Gainwell. I'm not a big fan of the 2-point conversion now. There's Dallas gets a flag. You get closer to the goal line. You're basically on the 1-yard line. You run up the middle. What are you doing there? Why not, run it out or just go for the extra point? Instead of trying to make it an 11-point game, make it a 10-point game. You're thinking too much there. You're trying to do way too much there. It's like over-managing at that point. Over-coaching. Not sure why you're running up the middle in that instance. Not big a fan of the play call. Just not big fan of it at all. Just go for the 10. Just go for the extra point. That's all you got to do. It was a 2-point game regardless. Didn't need to get fancy. Didn't need to get cute. Just go for the extra point. Just not the biggest fan of that play call at all. But in that first half overall, everything was going well. Jalen Hurts looked amazing. Even though I thought Jalen Hurts overall had a good game. I thought he had a pretty good game. Definitely more better than his other games against Dallas. He was good today. He was definitely good. First half, A.J. Brown making plays. He gets a touchdown. Miles Sanders runs it in for a score. Get the extra, you get the field goals there from Jake Elliott returning this week. You get the plays from CJ. You get the plays from Darius Slay. Dallas can't do anything in that first half. Defense was eating them up. Cooper Rush looks awful. And I keep saying, Cooper Rush coming into this game, he has no turnovers. He had 3. He had 3 interceptions in this game. Cooper Rush is not good. He's not a good quarterback. Dallas has a great defense, though. Dallas defense is actually pretty good, but the Eagles are the first team this year to actually score 20-plus points on Dallas. So, nothing to fret about there. It's nice being 6-0. It definitely is. It feels nice. It feels good. Going into the bye now, definitely help yourselves get it healed up more because Lane Johnson out with this concussion. Because now we all know the NFL is going to be taking this thing a lot more strictly, but everything that happened with Tua, with Miami. Even though most likely with concussions, you should be taken out of the game regardless. That whole Tua situation was just a goddamn nightmare for the NFL. It was just so stupid what Miami did there. I don't want to go down that road, but you knew Lane Johnson, once you heard concussion, he was most likely out of the game. So putting Driscoll into that spot, the guard against Micah Parsons, was going to be an ugly thing. And the play calling there needs to be a lot better. It needs to be a lot smarter. You can't be forcing these passing plays because Jalen Hurts is just not going to get all the time in the world. He just isn't. He just isn't. Jalen Hurts needed the help there. Driscoll needed the help there. And you didn't adjust at that point in the third quarter. You just kept trying to throw these passing plays here and there, and it just didn't work. Jalen Hurts getting rocked. Miles Sanders gets rocked. Miles Sanders was having a feast day there. Not Miles Sanders, Micah Parsons. So Steichen needed to be a lot better there. And then also, Gannon. Sometimes when you get to these big leads, he just gets so passive. He'd stop staying aggressive. And then, okay, when the game's close, okay, it's time to get aggressive again. Time to get aggressive. Here comes Brandon Graham rocking Cooper Rush. Almost getting an interception too, honestly. Taps the ball. Tried to put his arms out for the ball to land there. It's also funny seeing Nick Sirianni with the celebrations on the sideline. You get the celebration after they forced the offsides on Dallas early in the first half. You also see the celebrations with the field goals and everything there, or the missed field goals. So it's nice seeing some Nick Sirianni celebrations there too. And you also hear him in the going to the locker room post game saying, "How about them Eagles?" Basically just making fun of the "How about them Cowboys" line. So that's nice to see. That's fun overall. But yeah, just looking at this game, just some of the stats, Jalen Hurts, like I said, I thought he was pretty solid in this game. 15 and 25, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 104.6. Made some big, first down plays in that fourth quarter, especially on the 3rd and 4s. Saw nothing there, so we had to run up the middle, split between the tackles, and he also made some good plays on those 3rd and 1s where you're doing the quarterback sneak. Got lucky there too because one of the Dallas defenders just missed hitting him. He just slid right under him to get to that first down. So there were some huge plays there, definitely, from Jalen today. Definitely. The run game, I thought Miles Sanders was huge, especially at the end point of that game. He had 18 carries for 71 yards. Kenneth Gainwell had some good runs for 25 yards, 5 carries. Boston Scott had some carries there. Jalen Hurts had 9 carries overall. Looking at the receiving game, it was basically evened out. A.J. Brown, 5 receptions for 67 yards. He had a touchdown in this game. Devontae Smith wide open as hell in that fourth quarter. I have no idea how he got that wide open. It doesn't make sense. Why are you leaving Devontae Smith that wide open? And then you see Diggs in the end zone literally throwing down his helmet in anger, most likely because how is Devontae that wide open? And it was funny, too, in terms of fouls. Micah Parsons got, an unsportsmanlike conduct, flag for taunting. So that was something he was getting in Dallas Goedert's face. So there was some emotion. And then you also get at the end of the game, Kelce gets tackled twice after the whistle is blown. Starts a huge scrum between Dallas and the Eagles. So there was some animosity there. Kind of looked chicken shit on Dallas's side, but some animosity between these two. Of course, NFC rivals, one of the biggest rivals in the NFL. Probably one of the biggest rivals in sports at this point. But still, kind of felt chicken shit at that, what they did there. Tackling Kelce twice. And it just felt kind of loser energy there. Goedert had 2 receptions for 22 yards. So basically, it was spread out majority through this game. So overall, yeah. Looking at, CJ had a fantastic game with those 2 interceptions. Bradbury had himself a solid game. Also, there was one of the plays where Dallas thought they got the touchdown. I believe that was the play at the end of the second quarter where they made a fantastic catch, but thankfully both feet weren't placed down when he made the catch, went out of bounds. So James Bradbury was solid overall. Just Slay was solid. But it's basically when you bring Kevon Wallace into the game when CJ goes out, it just it just looked very ugly. Just looked very, 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 very ugly. That's basically it. That's basically it. Overall. Solid overall game. Didn't like what I saw in that second half, though. Did not like it. Basically, through, I would say, 75% of that second half. The drive where you got the Devontae Smith touchdown, though, you made some smart plays there. Jalen Hurts saved your ass a little bit on those third downs. Same thing with Kenneth Gainwell. The quarterback sneak and everything there. Some flags helped you too. Definitely on Dallas' side. Dallas had a lot of offsides in this game. Like I said, the taunting penalties. There were a good amount of flags on Dallas in this game. But yeah, overall, pretty good game. Pretty good game, and it's nice to beat Dallas. They're now 4-2. You're 6-0 on top of the NFC East. If you look at the standings here, I think Dallas is now in third place because the Giants won again. They beat the Ravens, I believe. Interception from Lamar Jackson in like the final 2 minutes of the game that allowed the Giants to get the winning touchdown. So that was weird. But the Giants are 5-1. That's unexpected. Eagles are 6-0. Giants 5-1. Dallas 4-2 now in third place. And the Commanders in last 2-4. So who would have thought? Who would have thought that the Giants, or who would have thought that the NFC East would have 3 teams above 500 at this point? Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? But it's nice being 6-0. Still the only undefeated team. Still the only undefeated team in the league. Feels good. It feels really good. Still got to be better in the second half, though. It kind of feels like when that, because we're one of the best teams in the second quarter in terms of scoring. But when you get to that second half, it just like kind of dies. You gotta stop being conservative. You gotta put teams away. Definitely you gotta put teams away. Gotta stop with that conservative play. Gannon and Steichen. Gotta put the teams away. Gotta put the teams away. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying at that point. But yeah. Looking at the rest of the NFC, Vikings are 5-1. Packers, they're 3-3. They look terrible. They lost to the Jets. They got smacked by the Jets. The Buccaneers lost to the Steelers, so the Buccaneers aren't looking that good to start the year. Really, if you're looking, the NFC East is weak as hell. Really, the only good teams in the NFC East right now are in the NFC are the Eagles, Dallas, and the Giants. And maybe you can consider the Vikings, but the Eagles smoked the Vikings. So, yeah. The NFC East, the NFC is weak. Weak. Eagles got a good schedule upcoming. Got a big chance to get a lot more wins under their belts. A lot more wins. So let's look at that schedule. Why not at this point? So let me go to the Eagles. Let me go to the schedule. See what other games they have left after the bye week. So you get the bye week next week. Then you regroup Sunday, October 30th at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then you get a Thursday night game, your only one of the year, on November 3rd against the Houston Texans. So those should be, honestly, these next 3 games, maybe 4, 5, honestly. You could probably win all of them, honestly. You probably could. Pittsburgh, Houston on Thursday night, Washington on Monday Night Football, Indianapolis Colts, Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. Honestly, these next 5 games for you, you have a chance to win all of them, honestly. Pittsburgh's not good. Houston's not good. Washington's not good. You smoked them earlier in the year. Indianapolis, they won their past couple of games, but Green Bay, they look terrible, honestly, in my opinion. Then look at the rest of the schedule. Tennessee on the 4th of December. The Giants on the 11th. Chicago on the 18th. Dallas on Christmas Eve. New Orleans on New Year's Day. And then the Giants again on the 8th for the final game of the season. Schedule definitely favors you a lot. These next a lot of games have a big chance to get some good wins here. Big chance, big chance, big chance, big chance. So definitely we got to wait and see for that. We got to wait and see. And I know we got some guys in the YouTube chat. We also got some anytime hotline calls. So I know we got one here. I remember seeing one happen before the stream went up. Yep, we got another one from Sean. So let's see what Sean has to say about this game. And also, if you want to leave a voicemail or any text message, anything like that, you can do it at 215-839-9885. The number is down below right there. And if you do happen to leave a voicemail, text message, or anything like that, make sure to leave your name so I can save that contact for future uses if you want to text or call in again. Also, you don't have to use it. You can also utilize the YouTube live feeds. Basically, it's just your preference at this point. You leave a voicemail, you have a chance to be on the stream, answer your questions and all that. So, option is up to you. So, let's see what Sean has to say about tonight's Eagles victory over the Cowboys.
Now that is a good way to end a great Philadelphia weekend of sports right there. Now I must admit, I am a little disappointed that Dallas didn't get the beatdown that they so rightfully deserved. I mean, the Eagles' refusal to play 4 quarters of a full football game is driving us absolutely insane. But that being said, to get a win on Sunday night primetime football against the Cowboys and all their cockroach troll fans crawl back into their hole after talking such shit for the last 6 or 7 weeks, it feels good. But from the Eagles' perspective, still a lot to work on. Again, a good time for a bye week, I guess, because of all the injuries. But we need to start playing 4 quarters of football. You cannot continue to have these lulls during games. Eventually, that is going to come back to bite them in the ass. But for now, keep stacking W's, put Dallas further back in the standings, and let's enjoy the bye week.
I love just trashing the Dallas fan base right there and not call Sean amazing stuff. But yeah, you hit your own points. The fact that, yeah, the second half needs to be better. The question mark, I know we try to disregard it in the first couple of weeks because, okay, it's the first couple of weeks. They'll get better. They'll score when they need to. But we are still, really seeing that pattern that, once that second quarter ends, we're best second quarter team in football. But once that first half ends, you get into that second half, third quarter, it gets ugly. It gets really ugly. Play calling gets really conservative. You get really lackadaisical. You play way too safe. You try doing these stupid things on offense, trying to force the pass. You got to stop that. And eventually, if they continue to do that, it is going to bite them in the ass. Especially if they come up against a really good opponent. And even though, granted, their schedule really favors them, there's not that many good opponents on their schedule upcoming. Like I said, they play Pittsburgh, Houston, Washington, Indianapolis, Green Bay, Tennessee, New York, Chicago. Like, there's not that many good teams on the schedule. You can consider Dallas and New York one of those teams. But Pittsburgh, Houston, Washington, Indianapolis, Green Bay, Tennessee, Chicago, New Orleans, they're not good teams. So, it can come back to bite you against good teams, but you still got to clean up that mess. Like the Giants, they're a team that has been thriving on comebacks the entire year. You just got to stop being lackadaisical when you get up to those big leads. Can't stop. You got to put the team away. You don't want to give them any chance that they could believe they could come back in the game. You don't want to do that. Because it is going to come back to bite you in the ass one day. One day you're eventually going to choke a lead. One day you're eventually not going to be able to get that winning drive in that quarter. One time your offense is not going to be able to help you. But you got to be able to, when you go up to these big leads, you got to keep pounding them down. You can't be stopping. You cannot stop. You got to keep going. Get the team completely out of the game. If you go up 20-0, make it 27-0. Make it 34-0. Keep it rolling. Can't stop. Can't get conservative. Can't get lackadaisical. Got to keep taking advantage of everything so here on out. It's got to be better. And yeah, granted, you are getting the bye week, so guys have a chance to get healthy. Hopefully this Lane Johnson situation isn't serious with the concussion. Hopefully he just gets this week off for him to rest, for him to heal. Same thing with a lot of the other guys. CJ gets that chance to heal the hand for the rest of the week. Hopefully that, doesn't become anything too serious, even though he did come back into the game and get that interception. But, a lot of guys getting banged up here and there. Dickerson left again. Mailata's been banged up. A lot of guys here have been banged up, especially in the offensive line. So, it's a chance for guys to get, rested up here. And they definitely need it. They definitely need it for this bye week with all the injuries occurring. But yeah, I think that's where we stand at this point. So let's look over here at the live feed, what you guys had to say today. Smoking that Dallas pack tonight from Mr. W. Not trying to fill this chat up with unpleasant words, but get fucked Dallas from channel name. Gannon, what is you doing? Yeah, I have no idea what Jonathan Gannon is doing. It's the same thing every week. It feels like second quarter dominance. Then we let the opponent just hop right back into the game. Exactly. Seeing CJ go out of the game in in that sort of pain scared me a lot. Then he makes a game-winning pick, basically badass. Exactly. Gannon has to get fired, and it's not going to happen, sadly. Cooper Rush with no interceptions going into this game, then gives up 3. Dallas got a good defeat, not defense. From Jonathan. It has been a fantastic vibe being a Philadelphia sports fan. Yeah, exactly. This entire weekend has been flat out fantastic to be a Philly sports fan. Rivalries are supposed to have animosity, no time for diplomacy. Oh, Soto, you're a Dallas fan? Oh, come on, man. Come on, dude. You're killing me. You're killing me. Worst Dallas performance of the year. Today was a crazy day of football upsets worldwide. Dallas played Philly reason for the worst performance. Or Dallas played Philly. That's the reason for their worst performance. 6-0. It's a nice feeling. It's an overall nice feeling to have. It's good. Feels good. Now we gotta wait and see. Got a bye week upcoming. And everything basically at this point is just good feelings overall. Head into the bye week 6-0. Get a chance to heal up a lot of guys that are injured. Wait and see here. Now you got Phillies NLCS this week. San Diego Padres. It's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be a very exciting time. But I'll have that preview most likely tomorrow night. We'll do a stream for that, previewing the Padres series because the times came out. All that stuff. We'll talk about the matchups and everything there. So definitely stay tuned for that. But I think for tonight, that's where we're going to leave it off. Eagles going to win, beat the Cowboys, always nice, and it closes out a great weekend of Philadelphia sports. Phillies move on to the NLCS. Eagles beat the Cowboys, and the Flyers are surprisingly 2-0. Let's see. So let's see what happens in the upcoming week. It's an exciting time here for Philly sports. If it makes it better, I'm rooting for the Phillies. Thank you, Soto. Definitely thank you there. Because fuck the Yankees. So that's a great note to end it off there. Fuck the Yankees and fuck the Cowboys. I guess we could say that. So thank you everyone for joining tonight's stream. That's going to do it for here. Do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see this as always. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description down below. Painted Lines BrodesMedia. I recommend all of that. Same thing with hitting the subscribe button. Goes a very long way. Definitely hit that. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first SEATGEEK purchase. Use it for the upcoming, Phillies home games here in the NLCS. It's a code that gets you $20 off. Tickets are going to be expensive. I know $20 isn't much, but it gives you a discount. Use it. Great deal. Don't pass it up. So, thank you once again, everyone, for